So, what has the general reception for Plasma 6 been like so far?
Yes. So generally, it's certainly our first week was extremely positive, and I was very happy to see that. Obviously, so our first week very positive. People saying those things. We also had the Wayland by default switch as well, and that's very important because a lot of people, end users, don't necessarily change defaults. I mean, I've got a metrics chart of how many Wayland users we have on people doing a telemetry, and when the default switched, that jumped. Unsurprisingly, I mean, it's what happened. So, and it's a good thing for us in a way. So, because with the accession, our systems were somewhat slow compared to on these Wayland compositors. And that was obviously reflected bad on us. But Wayland's also in a slightly problematic state of not everything works quite as well as it should do. Yes, Wayland is still in flux. I would not call Wayland finished at an application level. So even though we have Plasma's in a good state, Quinn's in a pretty good state, the applications do have issues. So trying to find that balance of where do we switch we're certainly not regression free for all these applications, but overall it's a better experience, but that's subjective. And finding a point of, well, we need to do it because otherwise we're lagging behind. So
yeah,
I think that's been a good thing. And overall, we've not had many complaints about switching a default. I guess people who have issues know how to switch back.
Well, right now, the people who are using Plasma 6 would be those on rolling releases, people who are testing out the Fedora beta, and people who are running Neon, I guess. Those seem like the main group. I don't think there's any, like, point release that's shipping it yet. Like, in their full stable release.
You're right. And Fedora's been on Wayland by default for a lot longer anyway. So...
But like what I was getting at there is like the people. Sorry, no, it's all good. I cut you off.
No, you're going sort of like people using it now are sort of tech enthusiasts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh no, you're right, absolutely, and that is true. They're also some of the most brutal, so they're more likely to provide feedback in some form.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Yes. I mean, it's kind of weird. Our bug tracker, you see the same names over and over and over again. And then you speak to people, when you go to FOSS demo or whatever, and you speak to all your actual users, and then a very different group of people to people who interact with you on the social medias or your bug trackers and whatnot. So you've got these very different groups, and it's easy to end up pandering to the group who talk to you rather than the demographic you're necessarily aiming for.
Right, yeah. This is very much the same on YouTube. Like, so there is this. I'm sure it's gonna be like similar with something like Plasma as well. There is this viewer power fantasy that they are like the center of attention. Like the opinion that they have on it is the opinion that everybody holds. And in reality, it's not at all. And a lot of the time, what they think is best is not what most people think is going to work. Like, I'll get people that say they don't like this style of video, and I look at my numbers, and it's like, best video in the period. It's like, okay, but like the numbers tell me that you're wrong. So...
I'm a big fan of metrics in general.
They're very good. Metrics the numbers do not lie.
Yeah, exactly. So we need more of that. So, Plasma 6 feedback, we keep sort of drifting off from that.
Yeah.
That first week was overwhelmingly positive. And then we were sort of waiting for the storm. And we were like, okay, storm hasn't happened yet. Storm hasn't happened yet. Storm hasn't happened yet. We were just sort of confused, waiting for things to explode. And nothing really exploded. There has been sort of a reality kicking after that wave of excitement of, I like it, but I wish, blah, 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 blah. Not naming any names, Bodhi. And that sentiment's been repeated in various other other platforms of, I'm using it, I'm happy with the upgrade didn't explode, things are generally better, but I've still got quite a bit to sort out.
Right.
And we upstream have quite a bit to sort out. I mean, there is a problem that we are this very old project with a lot of craft that's dragging behind us, and every now and again we have to take that oldest worst piece, fix it up, then take the next oldest worst piece and fix it up. Right. And there are several weak parts of Plasma right now where that needs to happen. I mean, that's a normal part of software development. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but there's definitely stuff to fix. There's stuff that we don't like.